I met Dr. Izumi 5 years ago, a very cold morning in St. Louis, when he came for an interview seeking a position at the Gulf University for Science and Technology. He had a very impressive CV, and at that time we were trying to build up our College of Business to move towards AACSB accreditation. And so I found that he would be an ideal fit. He had wonderful experience in academia, but also as a consultant, so he was very much involved in outreach. I worked with him. He would serve as my Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs for a couple of years, and I found him to be an individual who was really driven by having the best results he can from any project they undertook. And he expected that from his students. He wanted to challenge them that they would be able to accomplish things that they may never have thought they could accomplish. And in this, he excelled. I'm going to sadly and sorely miss him, and I wish the best for the future of Mrs. Izumi.
Dr. Izumi is a person who had a great impact on everyone that he touched. His students are different because they had an experience of working with him. His colleagues are better and different because of the impact that he had. And he certainly has left GUST a much higher quality university than it would have been without his service here. I will also miss him as a great friend, and I'm very happy to have known him and certainly wish the blessings of Allah upon his family.
One of the things that I enjoyed most about Rocky was his sense of humor. So no matter what the problem was that we had plenty of problems within our department and at the university and just day-to-day living in Kuwait. One of the things I enjoyed most is that we could always have a good laugh. We could always figure out how to solve the problem with some humor. He had a great grin, a great hearty laugh, and it was wonderful to work with him on a day-to-day basis. We were office mates, so to speak, right next to each other, so we spent a great deal of time together working through all kinds of issues related to education and to our students and how to improve the quality of our classroom performance, how to be better educators. We worked really hard at helping our students develop their skills that they'll use in a future career. And that's what Rocky was all about, helping young people develop into great professionals and leaders for the future of Kuwait and for the region at large in the Middle East.
We were very devastated to hear the bad news of the sudden death of Dr. Rocky Izumi. He was a great loss for GUST, and we will miss him a lot. May he rest in peace.
Dr. Izumi, he was not just my master in martial arts. He was like a father and a friend. Like, I spent my half life with him, not just in the place that we need to train. Even every day in his office, I still believe that he, passing away. I know this is life, and he teach me how to stay strong and die strong like him. And I will never forget you, Master Izumi.
on behalf of the family of Hiroki Izumi, and on behalf of Gulf University for Science and Technology's College of Business, especially our Dean, Lee Caldwell, and Rocky's colleagues in the Department of Business Administration. I thank you for joining us today for a memorial service that celebrates the remarkable life of a man who earned the titles of husband to Carrie, father to Yuriko and Kochiro, professor to countless young people in Kuwait and other parts of the world, sensei to countless martial arts students in Kuwait and other parts of the world. And most importantly, honorable friend to those of us who cherished Hiroki Izumi. May he rest in peace, and may this memorial service comfort the hearts of his loved ones. For the last 2 years, only a thin common wall separated my office from Rocky's, and that gave us the opportunity to shout out to one another in moments of need. And those moments of need never ended until he went to Dubai, only not to return. Every day we depended on each other to debate and sometimes solve a variety of challenges. We also spent hours working on 2 academic papers, which reminds me, on the chance that he now has some supernatural powers, I'm going to ask him to make sure to get both of those papers published. Among our endearing qualities was a shared sense of humor. And oftentimes, when we thought we had a good answer for a problem, our solution backfired, and we'd have the best time laughing at ourselves. We really enjoyed laughing. And that's one thing that I'll miss most now that his office has gone quiet. I'm also going to miss the dark chocolate candy bars. Depending on the size of the problem that we faced, Rocky would pull out a dark chocolate candy bar, claim that we'd feel better for eating it, and that since it was the dark chocolate, it was the good chocolate, I didn't have to worry so much about the calories. So as a tribute to this ritual, which Rocky shared with many colleagues, we've supplied dark chocolate candy bars. You'll have one next to you to enjoy today. So if you will, please open the bar as I'm doing. Those of you who have them, please grab a bar. Don't be shy. Don't be shy, please. Grab a bar. Open the bar, please. This is an honor to Rocky. This is something we did every day, almost every day. Many faculty here enjoyed this with him. Open the bar. Take a chunk of the bar, pass the bar along to others, and enjoy some of the bar. I'm going to refrain because it's not polite to eat with my mouth full, but I'll enjoy it later. I don't think it'll work now. This is fine. I'll just do it without. Oops, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
So as you enjoy that dark chocolate, I promise that you're going to feel better today. You can thank me later. You can also thank me for selecting the dark chocolate ritual and not the smelly dried fish ritual, which was another of Rocky's great enjoyments. The dried fish had such a stench that if we opened packages in the auditorium today, we wouldn't be able to sit here for very long. The irony of both the chocolate and the dried fish. There we go. The irony of both the chocolate and the dried fish. Rocky said that it would not only make us feel better, it would also help us to live longer. I can't wait to catch up with him, to enjoy a good laugh about that information. Regardless of the challenges we faced, most days we enjoyed the journey, and therein lies an important lesson for each of us. Our days are numbered, and we're not in control of that number. We are in control of how we live our numbered days, and Hiroki Izumi lived every day
in the lead position. That doesn't mean that he solved every problem or that he had every answer. It doesn't mean that he kept everyone happy along the way. Rocky was a leader, and he had the arrows in his back to prove that. He was bold and courageous. He spoke the truth. He maintained high standards, and he believed that even something as simple as a grade needed to be earned, not just given. None of us was entitled, regardless of who we were. And in Rocky's case, he was a skilled and accomplished practitioner, one of GUST's most prized faculty members. You may have gotten the idea that he was GUST's martial arts instructor because of all the photos. It just so happens that we don't have photos of many faculty in the classroom, but indeed, Rocky was in the classroom every day. He was one of our prized professors in our Department of Business Administration, where he specialized in management. He had the ability to teach from his experiences and not just a textbook. And he believed that every day was a new day in which he had to prove that he was worthy to live it. That's one challenge he never failed to meet in my eyes or the eyes of most of his students. No matter what sacrifice was asked of him, Rocky gave more because he was a leader and a professional. He not only wrote the playbook, he set it in motion, and he did it with integrity, one of his most valuable assets, perhaps the greatest achievement of Rocky's life, in addition to being a husband and father, was his commitment to his friends. He never let us down. Even on a bad mood day, we had a few of those, but they lasted only until he opened a chocolate bar or a bag of dried fish. He gave more than most other people. He set the standard for professionalism among GUST faculty. I loved Rocky because he wasn't a friend in the casual sense, where the conversation is polite and politically correct. Rocky was all honest, almost to a fault. If he thought I was wrong, he told me so. If he thought I could do better, he told me so. We didn't agree about everything, and he appreciated the fact that when I thought he was wrong, I told him so, and he listened. That made our relationship, as short as it was, all the more exhilarating. I can only hope, each of us can only hope, to find more Rockies in our lives. For Rocky, a day at GUST meant teaching. He carried a full teaching load. Never taught less than 5 days a week, and he was teaching 6 days this semester. And then he devoted time to mentoring his students. Rarely was he alone in his office. Someone was always there to gain his insights. Then he chaired one of our most demanding committees, which is responsible for helping the college gain accreditation in the next year, and the work of that committee was never ending. And after all that, Rocky would end the day at the shooting range out near the 6th Ring Road, or at one of his dojos, where he was surrounded by mostly young men and women who aspired to his level of competence in the martial arts. During an initial training session, Rocky would always ask his students, "Why do we study the martial arts?" Students often dug deep to come up with an answer to impress their sensei. But the right answer was a surprise. "We study the martial arts," he said, "to learn how to die." Then he would add, "So guys, die pretty." We believe that Rocky died pretty. And not just because he was handsome. No man since the American movie star Clark Gable could wear a fedora and look that good. And when Rocky smiled, he was irresistible, and his sense of humor was unmatchable. But mostly he died pretty because he was doing what he loved. He was warming up for a tournament, a warrior going into battle, when he fell over and died. He died pretty because he died without regrets. Every day was an adventure. Every day was a gift. Every day was a day in which he could prove himself again. And without the help of dark chocolate and dried fish, he never failed. So now I ask you to sit back and enjoy this Rocky journey. You're about to hear from people who were special to Rocky as he was to them. First comes a young colleague who Rocky admired because he's making a difference at GUST and in Kuwait. The hope for us to our expats is that we can say something, do something that will lead our students to change Kuwait for the better. In fact, we want them to become like our Dr. Solomon, the head of our finance department. He comes forward now to share simply a message.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. Dr. Izumi and my interaction with him was through various aspects. Majorly was through the Assurance of Learning Committee and Curriculum Committee, where we have interacted numerously on bi-weekly basis on discussing various challenges of how to upgrade the qualities of the accreditation process and the qualities of teaching in the university. He was very active. I've known him from the committee as a person of persistence, discipline, and a person who is a perfectionist. We were not offered chocolate. I guess the guys from the management has been keeping it away from us. I wish that we had, because we did indeed have a lot of problems. Nonetheless, I have actually known Dr. Izumi to be a person who have respected the culture and its people have respected him back. He was a person also who has a great deal of admiration as well as respect for various initiatives that has been occurring in the university. He has a lot of respect for his students, and he was so into developing the student body and developing the society in general that he has met with me a couple of times at his own time in discussing ways of how to enhance entrepreneurship and how to help our students to gain entrepreneurial skills and develop small businesses. So he went beyond his reach or beyond his responsibilities in the university of really caring about the students. The third thing is I've also known Dr. Izumi as a fellow martial artist. Now, for non-martial artists, you might think that martial arts has to do with the physical training and the physical contact, but really it goes beyond that much farther. And the concept of martial arts, especially maybe perhaps Aikido, and I believe there's a session for it, it teaches ways of life, the ways of how to embrace life and also how to respect others, despite religions, convictions, or any discipline. Behaviors makes of the way of dealing with life is the core fact of martial arts, and Dr. Izumi, being a sensei, adds to that. This is a person we are talking about who has given a lot to students, and after his professional responsibilities, he continues to give to his martial arts students. So his life, to me, seems to be devoted to giving. And when you give and teach people how to live and how to learn and how to develop skills that will help them develop their lives going forward, this seems to be an eternal effect or eternal impact. I would end this by my deep condolences and to the family of Dr. Izumi and of course to his colleagues and his close ones. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Solomon. And now we give you an opportunity to reflect on today as our faculty, several of our faculty, share our first musical interlude, Dust in the Wind.